Hey, what's up out there, everybody? David Cravens, aka Shark Eyes, my wife calls me when I go like this. And
Dun,
if I
dun,
lift my head up like this,
dun, dun.
my hat disappears. We're on the Relentless Hope Podcast down here in sunny Southwest Florida. You know, we're in the trailer park because we are. And that's my song I wrote 25 years ago, by the way.
It's still a banger.
And to the right, I got my beautiful wife who is known.
Left.
It's
right.
funny, you know,
Left,
you're to
right.
my right. You were to my left the last time, and I'm my right. I think. Which pocket do I have a rock in? So I don't know. That's how I learned when I was a little kid.
Are you
I would keep a
serious?
rock in my pocket so I knew if it was right or left side. True story, by the way. But
Ew.
to my right, I have my beautiful savage wife, and it's funny because people are starting to call her that when they ask me, "How's the beautiful savage?" or
Oh
"How's
my
it?"
gosh.
So to my right, I have the beautiful savage. Oh yeah, this song. She's a beautiful savage, which will be getting released soon, and the video we're pushing that.
Yes.
Hello, Jahnna Cravens. How are you?
Hey, Jeffrey Cravens, how are you?
My name is David
Jeffrey.
Cravens. By the way, we're down here. Just been busy, right? Been a busy couple weeks.
Yeah.
We had Shar and Andrew Marshall. We were on the
Yes.
Outlaw Mini Revival Tour,
So much fun.
hitting all the recovery churches, which
Yeah.
was awesome. Everyone we went to just welcomed us so much, and we just it was an awesome time, you know. It's crazy doing what we do sometimes. I think people don't realize how many broken people there are in the world that
Yeah.
just want to hear somebody believes in them.
Oh my gosh.
You
Just,
know?
just to have somebody give them some hope and encouragement
Yeah.
and let them know that, hey, we believe in them.
Everything's
you
going to be
know?
okay. I remember when we were going through our craziness and like we had done it again, like we were split up
Mhm.
again and we were
The
fighting
shame.
again. We had hit it. We'd done clean for a minute and done another relapse. And I remember Pastor Michelle,
Mm.
you know, we love you, Pastor Michelle.
Shout out
You
to
always
Pastor
get shouts
Michelle.
out on our podcast, but I remember her going, "I believe in you guys. You guys can do this."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You know how many times we did this?" She goes, "It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
One
matter.
more time, you know,
Yeah.
one more time." And sometimes it sounds cliche in your life because everything's going on and the bottom's dropping, the ends aren't meeting, transmissions are going out, the kids are acting crazy, the power company's not quitting, you know,
Life
I
be
mean,
lifing.
jobs aren't coming and
Yeah.
life's hitting you in every direction. But sometimes you just got to do it one more time.
Yeah.
And whether you're sober or trying to work on yourself, life's going to happen regardless, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you just got to roll with it.
Got to roll with it. And today I was thinking about something. We were in Sarasota last night. Shout out to the Sarasota Recovery Church.
Yes.
And I just when we got done, I had woke up the morning yesterday morning, and at 3:48 in the morning is what time I woke up. Which I've been waking up at 3:48 every day, which sounds crazy, but it's legitimate. What time I wake up?
It really does.
It used to be 4, now it's 3:48. I guess God knew I needed some extra time to get it
Hmm.
right. But I was like, man, somebody needs to hear that it doesn't matter what they think of you.
Mm.
It doesn't matter how many people said you're not going to make it. It doesn't matter what your ex-wife said or your ex-husband or your school teacher or your probation officer.
Your
It
dad,
doesn't
your
matter. What
mom.
matters is what God tells you and the story you tell yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get this under control, this will follow. This under control, this follows.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I had, I was like, somebody needs to hear that it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
And then I was like, God left the 99 to come and get the one. And, we
Yeah.
got the 99 to 1 cheap shirts, which
Which
everybody
is a
loves.
hit.
Which, I came up because it was 99. I had one. I was like, what if we
Yep.
put it one cheap?
I love that
And
shirt.
everybody loves that shirt because God left the 99 to come and get the one, And so we had a crazy day. We went to work. We got home. Nevaeh's car has broke, so trying to shuffle her to work
Yeah.
and then the kids and everything. So we end up getting, when then we drove to Sarasota. It was an hour, almost 2 hours away by the time we got there. And coming in, and it just was a good atmosphere as soon as we walk in. Everybody, Mr. Bob,
So nice.
Mr.
So
Bob
friendly.
was awesome, and
Lisa.
his wife, Bob and Lisa, they were so cool. And then of course Andrew and Shar, including us, was their thing,
And
bringing us
Chrissy
in.
brought her
Oh,
family
Chrissy,
down.
give Chrissy a shout out right there.
So my girl Chrissy made me this. Thank you, Chrissy. But she handmade all this and it's got all these different things inside. It's so dope. But it's to journal in. So she takes like, things that the Holy Spirit tells her and she puts it in this book and then you can write in it. And it's so thoughtful and just so sweet. And I really treasure that.
Thank you, Chrissy. She's
Thank
been
you,
showing up
Chrissy.
at the events, sharing our stuff, and
Yes.
just, her and Mike came to the marriage class and meant so much to us.
It's a great family.
Yeah, and so shout out. Well, we'll get into more about the marriage class in a minute. But so we get at the recovery church and it's crazy. I seen a guy who knew me from years ago. That was so crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out Wayne.
What are the chances?
And Wayne, I know you're watching. You better be watching, boy.
From Detroit.
And from Michigan, he knew me way back. It's crazy. Been watching the podcast, trying to get a hold of me. So we finally linked up. And but just as we were doing the songs, I could just see the guys and they were getting into it. And then, at the end, and then Andrew did his thing, Shar did her thing, preaching.
Man,
And she,
she's
they tore it up. And then the altar call was awesome. But I had a couple words, and then I ran into the guy who I woke up thinking about that day. And I just said, bro, listen to me, man.
Such a tender heart.
I said, just listen. It doesn't matter what they say. And he goes, man, how'd you know? And that's only the Holy Spirit. I'm not, trying to, selling potions and lotions on here, man. I'm selling, what I see to be true in the miracles I've seen. And that's a miracle to me to know that kid needed to hear that day, because I looked around that room and on the way home, Jahnna goes, those are our people, David. Because there's so many people that just need one more chance. There's so many people that just needs to hear, hey, I know you blew it this time. And I can't guarantee you that if you get sober, I can't guarantee you if you change your life and start doing good things and serving God, everything's going to be okay.
Right.
I can't promise you you're going to get your wife back. I can't promise you your kids are going to have anything to do with you. But what I can promise is from this day forward, you can start reaping good and having a good harvest come.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And some of those relationships never get repaired. But you always got to remember, it ain't how you start the race, it's how you finish it. And so it brought me to a thing where we all know the story of the leper,
right?
Where Jesus is coming in and he goes over and, we've heard this story 100 times if you've been in church, for 10 minutes in your life. But he asked him, do you want to be healed? Remember when he's walking by the leper going there?
Yes.
Do you want to be well? Exactly. And, my whole life I've heard that story and I've heard different preachers preach it and tell it, and I remember thinking when I heard that, well, like, duh, Jesus, he's a leper and he can't walk. Of course he wants to be well. Like, everything.
Yeah.
I love you, Jesus, but of course he does, right? But really,
there's a reason.
Do we? And it took me in my own life. Like, we're all struggle people in this journey, in this faith journey. We're all struggling in some area. There's somebody in your family or your own problem that has a problem with mental health or addiction. Addiction is anything that consumes you.
Right.
Addiction can be the cell phone. Addiction can be work. Addiction can be food, sex, drugs. Fill in the blank, and it brought me to, there was times like, do we really want to be well? So if we believe, if we call on God and he can and he will, does it mean if we don't call on him, he can't and he won't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're throwing up these Hail Mary prayers and there's nothing wrong with it. But, there was times I'm like, God, just take this away, God. Oh, Lord, I'm in trouble again. Oh, God, Jahnna's, we're going to splitting up again. Or, oh, God, this thing. But did I really want to change? Did I really want it?
That's it. Do you really want it? Because change requires an action. You have to put some work in. It's not just you throw up a Hail Mary and Jesus takes it all and it's all gone from you. You have to be willing. You have to, and there's always this huge word that people just take for granted, and it's surrender.
Yeah.
You really have to give God all that, not just a little bit, not just what you're comfortable with, because what did we hear today? We were listening to a sermon on the way over here. And the things that you try to conceal.
No, yeah. The biggest sin you conceal is the one you need to reveal.
Right? So it's like
the biggest sin you conceal in your life is the one you need to reveal. And I'm learning that in my own life.
And
Sometimes we
it's
don't want
so
to tell
true.
people everything.
That's right. It's so true because you're afraid people are going to look down on you, or you think you can hold on to this and still do it. So do you want to get well?
Right.
And what does that require of you? And are you willing to put forth the work and do
That's
it?
good. That's good. You know, and so I was thinking that exactly, you know, do we want to be well?
Right.
Well, of course that leper wanted to be well, and we all
Right.
know the story, right? But in your life, ask yourself, you know, we're praying, oh God, I want to make my marriage better. Oh God, we want to go to the next level. But do you really? Because you want to see a healthy recovery. You want to see healthy from addiction. You want to see your marriage get healthy. It starts with humility. And what it starts with is admitting your shortcomings, admitting pet sins, admitting things that you did wrong that you had no justification or you did have justification for. That's when we start changing.
Yes.
It's humility.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You show me somebody humble and somebody who takes ownership, I'll show you somebody who starts changing.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's being at that point in your life where you know you need a higher power. You know that you need God because you're just pretty much a piece of crap without him, right? I mean, I'm just being blunt and real, but I mean, I know I was. So it's just,
and I still am some days.
You're not going to meet the mark every day, but it's just knowing, man, I need God because without him,
I'm nothing.
I'm this hot mess.
You know,
right?
And so, you know, that just really brought that to me. You know, being at the recovery churches and seeing some broken people and some whole people too, and just seeing the steps. Your story matters, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to hear why do Jahnna and why are we so passionate about marriage that people make jokes? And I don't care if you make a joke about me. You can make a joke about me, how serious and passionate I am. That doesn't bother me. I don't do it for you. I do it for the dude who's there last night who goes, man, I need help with my marriage. What did you guys do?
Yes.
And I go, you want me to tell you? We had to get real, bro. And I had to get a hold of 8-year-old little Dave and start working on some things. And is our marriage perfect? Absolutely not. But it's getting better each year. It's getting better each year. It's getting better each year. And like I said, we've grown in the last 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the way here.
Yeah.
Because Jesus operates everywhere except in the car together when we're driving. I tried to stay serious there for a minute. But on the way here, because what happens is in the 4 laws of love, I heard Jimmy Evans say this, and it's so true. Shout out. He's like, the 4 laws of law work everywhere except in the car when we're driving together, because sometimes she doesn't see the way it should be when I'm driving.
Or vice versa.
No, but really though, I that's why we do what we do. It's because our story matters. Because if people can look at us, you know, there's dudes 30 days in that I'm proud of. There's people 2 days in. You don't know what them people had to go through
to get there.
I remember when I got the first year, because I had always would get clean and sober and I'd make it a year, maybe. And then I'd have a relapse and then get good again. You know what I mean? There was never no constant 2 years straight or 4 years straight. Might be a year, a week or so, and then some more time in a week. You know, we're coming up on 7 years straight. You know what I mean? No relapses, and you know, probably healthy mental more than I've ever been in my life with the focus and the clarity I have. Not a perfect life. I blow it some days, and we're all in this struggle journey together running towards Jesus. But what I realized is when I got to the point and said, yeah, I do want to be healed.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it because I got myself in a bad situation. I messed it up again. This will get her back. This will get me out of trouble. I need to tell my mom this. And I need to tell, you know, I'm gonna do it. I got to where I said, no, God, I don't want to live like this. And I want to be the best me I can be. So, you know, if next time you listen to that story, think about it. Do you want to be well? Because if you want to be well, you can get well, but it takes hard work.
Gotta be willing.
It takes humility, which is something, it's hard for me. I'm not always a humble person in the way I carry myself or the way I am. You know, I can be overbearing. I have a very strong personality.
No.
I don't take much lip, you know what I mean? And but something God is doing me, and he's working on me right now in my life, is God knew that I'm who Jahnna needed to love her from her past, and vice versa. And I'll get teary eyed, but is trying to be soft with her heart, and I can be, hard. And same thing with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm hard sometimes on certain ways on them, with the way my words are and how I handle stuff. And I'm not saying I want to be super soft, but I also got to be loving in certain ways.
Yes.
And that's something God's working on me, is to humble myself and some humility when I even discipline them, or
Absolutely.
humility when I point out to you,
Yeah.
instead of the down and the demeanor and the browbeating,
Yes.
and all those things.
Well, yeah, and you got to think, because that's how you were raised, you know? So, and I think that that carries on, and that's part of why we do what we do, because we're trying to break cycles, in our kids' life. So it's just coming at it a little different angle, having a softer approach sometimes. And I have to do that too, but it's important, because that's why we do what we do. And that's why we want to make marriage great again,
That's right.
because we're trying to create legacies,
Yeah.
and we want other people to be able to do that as well, because marriage is such on a decline.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just thinks that, hey, it's easier just to have a girlfriend, live together,
my career or whatever.
It's all selfishness. But what about the kids?
Yeah.
And what about what we're doing?
And some people think the greatest day of your marriage is the day you get married, but I think the greatest day is when it ends, if you're still there with them. And
Yes.
all the mishaps and the violence and the things that we went through, I don't care. I don't care about yesterday, things that we said or I felt.
Yeah.
I care about what we can do. And,
Right.
everybody goes, oh, do you think it really can get any better? Marriage. Yeah, I think it can get better every year, because I'm changing every year.
Absolutely.
And you're changing.
You're always changing. You're always changing.
Which brings me to this. So we started our marriage class with 4 couples. Eduardo and D Money came.
Yes.
My star student, Eduardo. He was the first to respond back, and he was ready to go. Proud of you, Eduardo. We had Chrissy and Mike came. Elliot, Anna. My daughter and Max didn't make it, but they will be there next time. But no, they had some stuff going on. Everybody was sick and different things, but I was giving them a hard time. And Max said, I felt like a kid whose mom was letting everybody go to the movies and I couldn't go. But anyway, we started it doing the 4 laws of love, and I was very nervous. You can give me a microphone, I can rap in front of 1,000 people. Makes no difference to me. I've done it. Rapped in front of 5,000, 10,000 people. I can walk in a room. Well, I was nervous about teaching this marriage class. And after the 2 hours, one thing Eduardo said, which made me smile, he goes, man, I was hoping it was longer. We need to do longer. And then we got to eat lunch and hang out, which was awesome. So we're looking forward to our next one as we move through the marriage journey together.
Yes.
I like that Max and Adriana and D Money and Eddie, or Eddie Money, I call him, Eduardo, is because they're young.
Yes.
And I wish somebody would have taught me about this when I got going. So that's why I pour into them. I pour into them because obviously my daughter and Max, I love them, and I look at D and Eduardo was like kids too, and I love them. So why would I not start? And then Chrissy and Mike, I feel like Mike's my long lost brother. You know what I'm saying? He came and so I commend him coming, Mike. You didn't know us, and we're wild, and you came in, and everybody opened up. And of course, Ellie and Anna. Elliot's my brother. He's my little brother. Yeah. And Anna's always there, and they're like the top Relentless Hope supporters.
They're just
and
amazing.
So, we're just out here trying to do what we can do, not because we think we're good or not because we think we're better. It's because if I can give one person hope and change their life from the craziness that I went through,
That's right.
I'm not gonna waste all that pain. I'm gonna turn that pain into my purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting the craziness we went through, and I'm not wasting the life that I lived to not give somebody purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why we wanted to hop on there. Do you really want to get healed?
Do you
really want to change? You can do it, because if we can do it, anybody can do it. And at this time, I got to pay some bills. And how I pay bills is, you see this T-shirt I'm wearing right here? Do you see this T-shirt? This is a Flyfit T-shirt. There's no other T-shirt like it, because listen, I've tried. I ordered every one, and Jahnna will tell you that they said it fits right. Flyfit T is the best. They're American made. They're awesome guys. We're going to be having a giveaway on here for them to win a pack of them. They've got different colors. You can see, they even look at them. You see these arms?
It's not about your arms. It's about the shirt.
Oh, it's about the shirts. It's about Flyfit T-shirt. They make everybody look good. Even this one. Flyfit tees. Also, the only drink we drink, I drank one on the way here, and my wife almost divorced me in the car, is Clean Cause. That 50% of the net profits go for drug recovery. That's what we're all about. That's a yerba mate that I drink. It's a drink that my kids drink. We all drink it. We got them off bad energy drinks and got them on good ones. And of course,
sometimes.
Yeah, I got to watch Jackson. That boy needs an intervention.
And Nevaeh.
Nevaeh, too. All of them.
Red Bull junkies.
They're all going to... No, I'm just kidding. And we got this Nevin eyewear. I haven't been pushing Nevins like I should. You always see us wearing them. But Nevin is a Florida-based company, 3 for $85.
Oh, man.
And if you break them, lose them, they replace them. There's so many styles. The links are below.
And they're fire.
I mean, look at that. If you put a Flyfit and some Nevins on, you'll get a beautiful savage like this. Right here. She'll be knocking. Come in. Can I meet you, please? We're out of here. We love you. What do you got to say, babe?
Nothing.
Take us out of here. You got a lot to say.
Oh, I do have a lot to say. I also want to encourage everybody, talking to a lot of people lately, we've been talking a lot about counseling. And I think so many people are afraid, to go to a counselor for their marriage. But it doesn't show weakness. It shows strength to realize that, hey, we might need a little help with this area. And it's okay. So I just want to encourage everybody, don't be afraid of that. Don't be scared to get counseling. It's one of the best things that you can do. But I hope everybody has a great week. Relentless Hope is out.
I'm out. I was texting on the phone while my wife was taking us out. But I do love all of y'all. And listen, remember this. It all starts with a little bit of hope.
Right.
Sometimes you got to be relentless with it.
Week.
Yeah.